Strongly opinionated yet extremely accepting, INFJs, like most MBTI types, have pretty interesting views of the other 15 personalities. Whether they've met them in person or have studied them through their interests in human behavior, how do INFJs typically view all the other types, and how does that affect their relationships with them? Welcome, or welcome back, psychos! Before we get into it, we'd love it if you liked and subscribed to our channel, as well as to click the post notification bell so you never miss a video. Number 1. The ENTP. Spontaneous and buzzing with intellectual energy, it's no surprise that ENTPs catch the eyes of an INFJ. With the contrast of introverted and extroverted intuitive functions, INFJs get a sense of possibility towards a truly stimulating connection. Since ENTPs enjoy introspective conversations and don't mind disagreeing with what's being said, INFJs love to go back and forth knowing they won't be challenged with tolerating small talk, dry facts, or tedious details. In fact, although ENTPs may be slightly stubborn in their debates, INFJs keep an open mind to the charismatic brainstorming abilities of this energetic type, and that alone creates a solid foundation for a great connection. Number 2. The INTP. Innovative and easygoing, INFJs see most INTPs as interesting and down-to-earth. When first meeting this person, they may seem to you to have an interesting mind. INFJs may first be drawn to the INTP's way of seeing things and their unconventional opinions. However, as a relationship between these two introverts progresses, INFJs admire the curious yet analytical nature of this creative type. Keep in mind, since INFJs are values-driven and INTPs are logic-driven, there may be some fair disagreements, but luckily, both types are extremely open-minded, allowing for a space for true growth in perspectives. In fact, INFJs love how INTPs are able to teach them to not get emotions so involved in their decision-making process. Number 3. The INFP. With similar communication styles and goals in life, the INFJ can relate to the INFP on many levels. Like INFJs, INFPs are known to be private yet extremely kind individuals. They hold extreme empathy and are able to easily put themselves in other people's shoes to gain clear insight into how they're feeling, something that INFJs not only appreciate but also completely relate to. The INFJ sees INFPs as a safe place to discuss sensitive topics because they know there's little chance of disagreements, offenses, or hurt feelings. Even if they disagree on some things, INFJs likely feel that when it comes to the important stuff, they're on the same page. Number 4. The INTJ. Known as the mastermind personality type, INFJs admire the INTJ's ability to use their strategic perseverance in life. With a shared dominant function of introverted intuition, INFJs can relate to this introspective personality type's need for thinking and alone time. In fact, INTJs spend a lot of their time thinking and usually don't show their feelings easily, which gives them an essence of mystery that the INFJ feels the need to crack. Although INTJs don't use emotions and empathy as much as the INFJ, this duo can relate to each other's out-of-the-box thinking and independence. Number 5. The ENTJ. Natural-born leaders who appreciate efficiency and perfectionism, ENTJs may enjoy the company of an INFJ a little more than the INFJ actually enjoys being in the company of an ENTJ. With slight intolerance and arrogance used as a means of maintaining control and order, INFJs usually see the ENTJ as being considerably uptight and even heartless at times. Since INFJs are always considering the feelings and emotions of others, they can't relate to the ENTJ's approach of stubborn dominance, especially in the workplace. ENTJs go about leadership with little support or understanding for creativity and imagination, which is quite the opposite of the INFJ's approach. Number 6. The ENFP. ENFPs are the personality type INFJs wish they could be. With a beautiful balance between a vibrant inner life and an extroverted and enthusiastic exterior, ENFPs are like a breath of fresh air for the INFJ personality type. True free spirits with an open heart and an open mind, ENFPs are not only the life of the party, but they leave their ego at the door. INFJs admire the fact that they don't just care about having a good time, they genuinely long for meaningful, emotional connections with other people. So, not only can INFJs easily create the depth of connection they're looking for in a friendship or relationship, but they can also learn from the ENFP's spontaneity and optimism towards life. Number 7. The ENFJ. Reliable and passionate with a plethora of new hobbies at all times, ENFJs are seen as a true inspiration to the INFJ. In fact, speaking of envy, INFJs see many qualities in the ENFJ that they would love to have themselves, with true confidence being one of them. With similar functions, ENFJs are known for being highly empathetic and probably make plenty of time in their lives to help others. This is something INFJs note right off the bat when first meeting this extroverted judging type. In addition to that, like INFJs, ENFJs can be seen as overly idealistic, yet contradictingly unrealistic at the same time, which INFJs can certainly relate to. However, with charm and great communication, INFJs feel drawn to them and usually have an easy time sharing thoughts and ideas. Number 8. The ISTJ. With rationality and a need to create order, ISTJs are seen as a little too structured for the INFJ personality type. No matter if the ISTJ disagrees or not, they usually abide by the rules set out for them. And since INFJs much rather march to the beat of their own drum, this by-the-book approach is avoided at all costs. INFJs actually sense the ISTJ's lack of enthusiasm towards out-of-the-box thinking, and so they'll feel the need to keep their less logical ideas to themselves. This also leaves little room for outward empathy towards others, which, as we know, INFJs appreciate among all else. And so, ISTJs are usually not considered an INFJ's cup of tea. Number 9. The ISTP. Creative, practical, and calm, INFJs usually find a great deal of comfort around the ISTP personality type. Known as the handyman or the jack of all trades, ISTPs usually know how to get any hands-on job done with true efficiency and happiness to help. Not only do INFJs truly admire their handy skills and creative approaches, but ISTPs also have a good heart to back up those skills, normally going above and beyond for someone in need while expecting no compensation. While they may have a slightly insensitive side to them when it comes to discussing emotions, INFJs see right through their, at times tough exterior, only to find a truly caring and spontaneous individual hiding beneath the surface. Number 10. The ISFP. The true artistic adventurer, ISFPs don't take life as seriously as some of the other types, and INFJs usually end up learning a thing or two from them because of this. Since INFJs can struggle with staying in the moment and out of their heads, ISFPs bring a general sense of flexibility and adaptability to the INFJ's perceptions. With charming sensitivity, this introverted personality type cares for others just as much as the INFJ, yet also requires the same amount of alone time, which INFJs, of course, can relate to. Their artistic imagination brings different viewpoints and beauty that the INFJ would overlook with their critical minds, and because of this, INFJs usually hang on to the connections they build with this unique type. Number 11. The ESFP. Bold and eccentric, ESFPs can either be too much for the INFJ or the exact external influence they need to break out of their introverted shell. Depending on the situation, set, and setting, this performing type is seen as both overly dramatic, slightly attention-seeking, and yet extremely magnetizing. With an ESFP around, INFJs can easily sit back and observe while they act as the life of the party, which sometimes is exactly what the INFJ needs. However, the sense of risky behavior and over-self-indulgence of this extroverted type can sometimes make the INFJ seriously uncomfortable. Number 12. The ISFJ. Hardworking and extremely supportive of others, INFJs see ISFJs as the humble enthusiasm most people need in their lives. Never over the top, but always willing to help others, ISFJs have a sense of reliability that is unmatched. Because ISFJs are always open to hearing and supporting the ideas of others, INFJs feel an unwavering sense of trust when around this observant type. In fact, ISFJs are very aware of the practical needs of the people around them and tend to go out of their way to make people comfortable, often putting others' needs ahead of their own, something INFJs can relate to entirely. Number 13. The ESTP. Direct and sociable, INFJs may feel a sense of intimidation from the ESTP at first glance, while INFJs usually end up appreciating and learning from many aspects of this go-getter personality type. Sometimes their ambition and confidence can make an INFJ perceive them as slightly arrogant. Luckily, if an INFJ sticks around for long enough, they'll notice that they have more in common with this type than they expected. After some time, INFJs end up looking up to the ESTP and their ability to make their life their own, despite bumps in the road and outside opinions. Number 14. The ESFJ. Extroverted with a natural aura of sensitivity and warmth, INFJs usually have an underlying sense of appreciation for the ESFJ personality type, even if they don't necessarily make it known. INFJs love the ESFJ's seamless ability to connect to others that's rooted in genuine interest rather than ego or self-gain. Their hard-working mentality and unmistakable loyalty is what draws the INFJ into pursuing a connection with this extroverted type, while their selflessness and kind-heartedness encourages the INFJ to come back for more. Which leads us to our last personality type, number 15, the ESTJ. With a tendency to maintain tradition and order, ESTJs and INFJs have very little in common, and that's quite obvious to an INFJ when they meet this extroverted type. While INFJs appreciate their efficiency and polished work, sometimes their dedication to the conventional is too much for the INFJ's imaginative ways to handle. However, despite their organized and direct approach to life, the ESTJ holds an underlying sense of mystery and patience that keeps an INFJ's mind open towards the possibility of discovering what's beneath their strong-willed beliefs. Alright, psychos, that's it for today's video. So, how do you feel about the other personality types in your life? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel so that you never miss a video.